It was 2 in the morning. A deathly silence hung over the station. There were no voices, no passengers, just the lonely whistle of the wind as it slammed against the empty platform. At the far corner of the station, a girl stood all by herself. Her eyes were heavy with exhaustion, but a deeper feeling, a sense of unease, was starting to creep in. She was just waiting for her train, she muttered to herself. The train is late. She glanced down at her watch. 2:47 a.m. Time seemed to stretch and crawl, each minute feeling like an hour. The clock ticked past 3 a.m., then 3:30. With every passing moment, the station began to feel more and more terrifying. The old fluorescent lights overhead started to flicker erratically, casting long, dancing shadows that played tricks on her eyes. A chilling sensation ran down her spine. The girl felt as if someone was watching her. She'd whip her head around, searching the darkness, but there was never anyone there, just the empty benches and the cold, concrete pillars. 4 in the morning. The air was thick with tension, and then, suddenly, a sound broke the silence. Faint at first, but growing louder. From a distance, the unmistakable echo of a train. Duck, dear duck. The rhythmic clatter on the tracks was the most beautiful sound she had ever heard. A long, shaky breath escaped her lips. Finally, Itese, Ere, the train pulled into the station, its brakes screeching to a halt. But as she looked up, the relief that had washed over her instantly turned to ice. What she saw was not normal. Not at all. Inside the train, it was a scene from a nightmare. Blood was everywhere. It was splattered on the seats, pooled on the floor, and smeared across the walls in grotesque patterns. But the people looked completely normal. They were just sitting there, laughing, talking amongst themselves, as if nothing was wrong. It was so surreal, so utterly bizarre. Her heart began to pound against her ribs like a drum. She tried to reason with herself. Maybe there was an accident, a bad one. Hesitantly, she took a step forward and then another, stepping inside the train. The moment she was clear, the doors hissed shut behind her. The train jolted and started to move, pulling away from the desolate station. For a few seconds, everything seemed fine. The jarring contrast of the gruesome interior and the passengers' casual behavior was but at least the train was moving. She was on her way home. Then, without any warning, the lights went out. The carriage was plunged into absolute darkness. She couldn't see a thing. An ear-piercing scream ripped through the blackness, sharp and full of terror. It wasn't her. The lights flickered back on, buzzing and unstable, and the sight that greeted her now was nothing short of hell. The people, the normal, laughing people, had changed. They had turned into zombies. Their eyes glowed with a malevolent red light. Blood, thick and dark, dripped from their mouths, staining their clothes. Their bodies moved with an unnatural, jerky motion, the sound of bones cracking and snapping with every twitch. The girl froze, a silent scream trapped in her throat. Every muscle in her body locked up in pure terror. One by one, the zombies slowly turned their heads, their glowing red eyes fixing on her. A collective, guttural groan filled the air, and then, as one, they ran. Pure adrenaline surged through her veins. She turned and ran She scrambled over seats, her feet slipping in the slick pools of blood on the floor. She pushed through the narrow coaches, the groaning and snapping of the horde getting closer with every frantic step. She could feel their cold breath on her neck. Just as she thought she was trapped, the train lurched to a sudden stop. The doors hissed open, a glimmer of hope. But as she looked outside, that hope was instantly extinguished. The platform wasn't empty. There were zombies there too, dozens of Team Hundreds, flooding the station as far as she could see. They were everywhere. Her breath came in ragged, painful gasps. Her legs were shaking so violently, she could barely stand. She was completely surrounded. One of the zombies grabbed her bag, yanking her backward. Another latched onto her arm, its grip like a... But there was no one to hear, no one to save her. The last thing she felt was a searing pain that consumed her entire being. And then, darkness. Complete and total silence. Moments later, the train started moving again, pulling away from the now silent station. And inside, standing by the blood-smeared window of the night, a metal coffin on wheels, carrying its deadly cargo to the next stop. Because somewhere, in the darkness, the next victim was already waiting on the platform, checking their watch and wondering why the train was so late. Thank you for watching. If this story sent a chill down your spine, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more terrifying tales from the dark. Stay safe out there.